Welcome to the My Money, My Lifestyle podcast, where we discuss all things money because whether or not we like it, money matters. I'm your host, Maya Fisher-French, and today is all about tax. And that is because SARS has announced the opening of the tax season, which will start on the 15th of July. Now, for some people, this is an exciting moment because they're going to get their tax refunds, but for many others, it just means a lot of paperwork and the prospect of possibly paying in some tax. So to help us unpack the complexity of filing tax returns and to make sure we get the most of those tax breaks that we're allowed, we're joined by tax expert Andre Bothma. And we're also going to welcome Balin Govender, who's acting head of Old Mutual Rewards, who's going to explain how Old Mutual Reward members can benefit from their TaxTim partnership. And I must say, Balin, I find TaxTim quite a useful tool. It really does simplify the process. So I'm looking forward to you telling us a little bit more about it today.
Certainly we will, Maya.
Well, let's start with you, Andre, and welcome back because you have been on my podcast before. I think we covered a previous tax season together. But let's start off with who should be filling in a tax return and why should they make sure that it is filed on time?
Yeah, I mean, the individual tax year is obviously starting the 15th of July, as you said, and most individuals who earn above the tax threshold, about 97,000, should file a return, even if they don't have to. Maybe they've gotten an auto assessment or they aren't required by SARS to file. I always say it's better to file your return because then you know it's there, it's done. And SARS cannot penalize you or issue admin penalties for a return that you actually submitted. And so it does provide quite a bit of peace of mind. So anybody who earned above the tax threshold, I would say, should file a tax return.
So we mentioned that tax season starts on the 15th of July, but what are the deadlines for filing tax returns and what penalties will we land up paying if we submit late?
Yeah, so there's the October deadline, that would be for non-provisional taxpayers. And to simplify that, that is for anybody who's in normal employment who doesn't necessarily earn extra income from different sources like maybe there's commission or contracting income. For everybody else, though, who's provisional taxpayers, they need to file by the end of January 2025. In terms of admin penalties, if you don't submit your return after the October or before the October deadline, SARS can penalize you about 250 Rand a month, and it can go upwards to 2,000 Rand a month if you miss those deadlines. So.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's really worth sorting your tax out, getting the tax return in, because why give SARS any more money than you're going to be giving them anyway?
Exactly.
You know, Andre, there's been a lot of talk about auto assessments. SARS has been using auto assessments for the last few years, but maybe you could just explain to our listeners what this is and what people should do if they receive an auto assessment.
Yeah, so auto assessments have been around, I think, about 4 years now, and SARS have always had the ability to gather third-party data from employers, from medical aids, from banks, and also from investment companies, so that you can file your return easier. So auto assessments were implemented as a way to automate the compliance, so that everybody or a lot of people who just get those basics, the RP5, medical aid, and RA, so that they can be automatically compliant. And so that's what the system is designed for. It's unfortunately not designed for people who earn other income, rental income, sold their property. And essentially, you get the auto assessment, the SMS. You can accept it now. It's automatically accepted. Or if you don't agree with the auto assessment, then you can file changes later on like we said, from the 15th of July. The downside is that SARS also, if it shows a refund, SARS will pay out the refund. So please don't eat your refund if you need to make changes to your return.
This is important because people just say, oh, well, SARS didn't know about that other little income that I have. So I'm just going to pretend it didn't happen. And they accept the auto assessment. And you're going to be in trouble because if they find out about that extra income and you've eaten the tax refund, as you put it, it's going to be a problem. Or if you want to go in and legitimately put in that additional income or say, actually, you got my tax return wrong, you may have to pay the refund back. That would hurt. That would hurt.
Exactly. But also, you do make a great point, is who is actually going to go and correct SARS? And it's almost easier, or it feels almost easier to just accept it and let it, great, okay. Let's do it next year. Same thing. But I think there is value in double checking the auto assessment, running it by a tax practitioner, or just have somebody check it out for you, make sure that it's correct. So.
And I think they may have missed something, some of your deductions. Yeah. They may have missed an RA you have, or those sorts of things.
Yeah, specifically the ones that do come up is when you've sold a property. That's something that SARS can't pick up. Rental property, if you start renting out a property, donations to public benefit organizations. So there's a number of things that the auto assessments don't pick up.
One of the things I must say that concerns me about auto assessments and tax returns and basically the entire of the tax filing season are the scams. Pubalin, I'm sure you have received some of those SMSs and those emails, promising you tax refunds if you just click on this link. Do you think this is a big problem?
Exactly. And it's, SARS and tax filing is trending topics. So, you get those emails, those SMSs, with a sense of urgency telling you that, it's something from SARS. You need to complete your bank details or your personal details. So please pay attention to those emails or those SMSs, in particular if it's, trying to get you to do something with a sense of urgency and quickly. And please be very hesitant about sharing your banking details.
I've got to a point where I will not click on any link in an email or an SMS. And I think probably, Andre, as well, the best rule that I can give anyone is if SARS is saying you've got a refund, if SARS says you owe them money, if SARS says anything, go onto e-filing and do it there. Just do not react or push any buttons on that SMS or email.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what I do for emails is you can easily see what's a SARS email and what's something from not SARS. So SARS is gov.za, and it's usually no reply at SARS or gov.za. And that's the only one. And also, they don't put extra details in emails. They might refer to the tax number. And when you get an SMS from SARS, a part of your tax number will be shown, and the rest will be starred out. And so you can differentiate between an actual SMS from SARS and one that is advising.
And it usually
SMS.
Refers you to e-filing. It says you have received a
correspondence.
Correspondence, go to e-filing. Let's go back to those tax returns, Andre. In your experience, what are the most common mistakes that people make when it comes to filing their tax returns?
I think the number one mistake that I pick up is people often don't file for when they've earned extra income. And a big switch or a difficulty for a lot of people is if they make the switch from normal employment to earning different incomes from different places, whether it's commission or contracting income, because it's difficult to manage that yourself. And also you don't know, like if you've sold a property, unless you know about capital gains tax, it's easy to not declare that. So, so omissions from returns is something that happens most often than not. The nice thing is the third-party data system that SARS have. It's brilliant. So RP5 Medicaid RA, that's automatically there. But it's the missing details like logbooks. Logbooks is a big one on travel claiming from travel allowance. And I also remember people made the weirdest mistakes trying to claim home office expenses when it was COVID.
That's what you and I spoke about in the last podcast.
And that's a major. So making easy mistakes and just not using a tax practitioner, or using a system that allows you to file easier. But that omission of on returns or not declaring extra income, that's most common.
Pubalin, maybe you can just explain to the listeners what TaxTim is, and also just explain the partnership between Old Mutual Rewards and TaxTim.
Yes, perfect. Yeah. So Old Mutual has partnered with TaxTim so that we can make it easy and accessible for our members to access a digital tax assistant that actually helps you to file your tax returns. So Old Mutual Rewards members get a substantial discount if they use the TaxTim service, which makes a professional tax assistance available at an affordable level, and it's accessible to actually anybody.
Why has Old Mutual Rewards decided to partner with TaxTim? Why offer this as a benefit and not just some free coffees and a movie?
So I think Andre's touched on, sometimes the complexity or the challenges of actually filing tax returns. So we actually want to reduce that complexity and that stress to actually get you to file your tax returns accurately and on time, so that you can avoid those nasty penalties that Andre has touched on. And hopefully, you might be able to get something back as well. And it fits in with Old Mutual's philosophy of being committed to help you to make good financial decisions so that you can improve your financial wellness. And, we want to reward you on that journey.
Okay, so how do I become a member of Old Mutual Rewards? And what discount would you be giving me on TaxTim if I joined up?
It's actually quite easy. So actually anybody can join Old Mutual Rewards. It's completely free. So as long as you're over 18, you can sign up on the Old Mutual Rewards website or on the My Old Mutual app. And you can get to earn Old Mutual Rewards points and enjoy discounted benefits with some of our providers like TaxTim. So our Tier 1 members get a 30% discount on using the TaxTim service. Our Tier 2 members get a 37.5% discount, and our Tier 3 to Tier 5 members get a 100% discount. So they get to use the service actually completely free.
And what does it normally cost? Like what would it cost to?
Yeah, so there's various packages available on the TaxTim platform, ranging from 299 Rand for the light package, which is, if you've just got a basic tax return to submit without much deductions. And then they've got on the top end an ultra package that's over 700 Rand. It's more if you've got a very comprehensive tax return to submit, probably more aimed at sole proprietors or commission earners, or if you've got other sources of income like rental income or foreign income.
So, Andre, I'd be interested in your opinion on something like TaxTim. And when do you think somebody that's sufficient, or when do you think they need to reach out to an expert like yourself?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. I've always liked what TaxTim does because I find that a lot of us tax practitioners, we can overcomplicate things, and most people do have simpler returns, but would prefer a helping hand in getting it submitted. So an online platform like TaxTim is fantastic. I think the moment the wheel, I refer to if you go from a Nissan Forte and a Champ, which you can service yourself or through TaxTim, but then you get a Volvo or you decide to get yourself a new car, and then now there's all bells and whistles, all things break. You have an objection of SARS, there's an appeal, or you've sold a property and it's a complex calculation because there's 4 owners to the property, or there's some complexity. That is where I feel like you need the personal, you need the personal touch with a tax practitioner. And another one is tax planning and tax advice for the future. That is something that I also think is a space where people can reach out to tax practitioners.
I think it is an interesting space, this, and I don't know about you, Pubalin, but I sometimes think that, there's a comfort, isn't it, sometimes in having, so you've got something like TaxTim, but, some people panic, and then I think it's a comfort level. Some people just want their tax advisor. I always hear people like, I need to speak to my tax advisor, Do you agree?
Well, exactly. And sometimes there's a lot of inertia where there's scary rules or regulations that you think you need to know about to complete your tax returns. But I think the good thing about a digital tax service or using a tax practitioner is that they can take you through that. And so the TaxTim digital service takes you step by step through the process and helps you understand it in an easier format.
I wonder if that's not a good starting point. Just try it, see how you go, and take it from there, and try and get a little bit of courage perhaps from the system, and putting it in the inputs and not freaking out. I don't know what it is about SARS, but it terrifies us that we're going to put something in wrong and we're going to go to jail or something. I don't know what we think they're going to do to us. Andre, I want to swing back actually to the home office deductions, because I think that's when you and I last chatted, and I think those home office deductions are really caused quite a lot of problems for people. People thought they could deduct anything that they wanted off of them. But what are the most common deductions that people can expect to take off their tax returns to save them tax? What are the ones we should be looking out for?
I mean, let's talk about employed individuals. The number one deduction for them is retirement annuity contributions or pension fund contributions through their employers. If you get a travel allowance, claiming against your travel allowance, getting a travel deduction, but make sure you keep a logbook. That's really important. Donations to public benefit organizations, that's tax deductible. Unfortunately, outside of those, medical aid is no longer really tax deductible. It's just a credit that you get. But if you earn rental income, if you earn commission, if you as a primary income, or you earn independent contracting income, then you can obviously claim expenses that you use in trade. But you will need to use the help of a bookkeeper or a bookkeeping platform in order to do those returns. So those are the more common deductions.
In conclusion, do not ignore your tax returns. Make sure they're in on time. If you do have an auto assessment, please still go check it. Make sure it's accurate. And if you're needing some guidance, you want to have a little bit of hand holding, try out TaxTim. Pubalin, how much is it again for TaxTim? You said it was 299 Rand. And I'm just thinking that the fine is for late submission is 250 Rand. So you may as well go and spend the money on something like TaxTim and make sure that it gets done correctly. And then, of course, if your finances are a little bit more complicated, you want to have them double checked, then you can go and look for someone like an Andre or a tax expert to help you through it. But I think, to be honest, TaxTim through Old Mutual Rewards is probably a really, really good start, and take it from there. So thank you to both of you.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.